How tough is it going to be to name your team for this weekend with people like Bersant, who you mentioned already on, and also David McGoldrick really marking your card in a cup game in the week? It's not always been like that in cup competitions, hasn't it?
No, that's been a real pleasing thing that came out of that, the game on Tuesday night. I thought we played well enough. It was a close game. I saw Nathan's comments, and he said the two bits of quality were the difference between the teams, and they were, because they had chances. And that was down to Bersant and Didsey were the first, and two great finishes from Didsey. So yeah, it makes it harder, but it's much better having that problem than thinking he's no chance of playing, because in the past that's what it's been. Those league, there's the Carabao Cup now with the League Cup games. I've had nothing out of those over the last 4 or 5 years.
And when you look at your four strikers, do you feel they can all play together as a pair, whatever combination you go for?
Yeah, don't worry about that. I think they're all intelligent enough football-wise that they can go on and play. Certainly Waggy showed his versatility when he took Tristan's spot, and he played very well there.
Do you think one or two of the younger kids might go out on loan? Some of the boys who maybe seen pre-season, like Conor McHenry or Shane McLaughlin, Ben Morris, that type of player?
No, anybody that thinks that, they're just being a bit previous with that one. I think what we've got to do is try and get a good under-23 team. And I think with the players that are coming through, we had Monty Patterson and Ben Falami travel. They've done really well training with the first team this pre-season up until the season started. There's a good feel about them. They've all improved, and I think to try and get players through, it's great if you've got a good under-23s team. Even if that doesn't do anything, that they're playing well, they're playing consistently, people can come through. And to be honest, strangely enough, Tristan and Flynn have bypassed that. But if it ends up that they come out of the team and it's Tom and it's Scoosy and it's MAUs, then they still need a place to play. And the 23s, we want to have a good foundation that they can all play, not just going and playing a team that's getting whipped every week. So nobody, at this moment in time, nobody will go out on loan until we play the 23s and we try and see whether it's going to be beneficial to them going elsewhere or just playing in the 23s. I don't want them going to clubs and not playing. If they go to National League clubs, which is a good standard for them, they can come back. They can go for a month. They can come back if it turns out nobody wants them.
You're going to stick with 3 at the back, or might you mix and match, just depending on who you've got available, I guess, and who you're up against?
Well, I'll just announce that to the world so everybody knows what they're going to do. So find out on Saturday. Usual answer to that one.
You've got plenty of versatility though, haven't you? As you've alluded to there, Jordan can play in field, so can Jonas. You've got full-back centre-halves as well to do that.
Yeah, well, people generally know what, the managers will be looking at what's been going on, and we went up to Luton the other night and there were different players in it, and I said, if they don't play the same way as they played Saturday, we're on 8-2, I'd be so surprised. So I guess everybody will be thinking that with us, having played 3-5-2. Well, actually, 3-5-2 is probably wrong. Anyway, whatever numbers we put on it, but there's certainly, with Wardy playing behind the front two as he did, and so did Tristan. It's worked well for us, but if it ceases to work, full well I'll change it. Or if I haven't got the players to play it, I'll change it and do something else. So, see it. 2 o'clock on Saturday, you'll find out. And he's lost Watkins, and he's lost Yeardom, I think he's going apparently, and he's lost the 2 centre-halves, and centre-forward, central midfield player. Wow, his team's been decimated. And everybody thought at the end of last season that they'd struggle towards the end, and they didn't. So now I just take the view that he'll get players of maybe, I don't know, well, I was going to say of a similar ilk. Conor Horan wasn't bought for Barnsley for £3 million and sold on. He came in on I don't know if he came on a free or a cheap. Was he from Plymouth? So that's what they'll continue to do. They've had a fair bit of success doing it. But that don't worry me. I hope they don't on Saturday. That's for sure.
We talked about this last week, but the options at your disposal now, certainly when everyone's fit, Mick. Is rotation going to be more of a thing for you this year? Because you've used the fewest number of players in recent years. You've had the core
I
of
tried
first.
that early on in my marriage, Stuart. We had 3 kids very quickly, that rotation. Anything could happen. I think I said to you, it would have been nice if I didn't want to. We've had Saturday, and we've got Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, that I could play 2 strikers, and if I wanted to leave the other 2 out and put them in on whether it's Tuesday or the Saturday, I could. And likewise with wing backs, I think it's important that those positions they've got competition, and that they could easily, if they drop their standards, be taken over by somebody else. And I think we've got that really in pretty much most positions. So if they're all fit, of course, I mean, can't do anything if they're injured. But I think Dominic's come in and nailed that right wing back spot. But if he didn't, then Spence would be all over it for sure. And likewise with Jonas and Miles. We've got plenty of midfield players in the physio at the moment, but we've got plenty of them. And the 4 strikers, I think any team looking at us will think we've got 4 good strikers.
As you've said before, a bit of insecurity is not a bad thing sometimes. You might be braced for 1 or 2 knocking on your door at different stages in the season.
There's always somebody doing that, yeah. But that's a positive sign, that though. If they are knocking on my door, they wanted to play. But they're not daft either. If somebody's in the team who's just knocked 4 goals in the last 2 games and the other fella's put 3, set them all up, there's nobody knocking on my door saying I should be in. They might be in looking for a bit of an arm round and telling them they might get a game sometime. But that's management. You've got to manage those disappointments, expectations. You're managing personalities, not robots.
Every fan up and down the country loves to see one of their own coming through from the academy. This club probably more than most. I'm sure it's something that people were on your case about from day one, about the importance of kids coming through. A lot of excitement about Flynn and Tristan and Andre. You've always said if they're good enough, you'll play them.
I'm glad you remember that, because there's always a bit of a fanfare when the kids get in, and then there's always a little bit, well, he's never played the kids before. Well, give me one reason why I haven't played them before. The one that's as played as the nose on my face, which is fairly plain. Well, good enough. If they're good enough, they get a game. I mean, there's Tristan's 17 and Flynn's 18. Both good players, both played. So Bish got in the team when he was 18. And if we produce the players that are good enough, they'll get in the team. And I love it when they get in the team as well. I think it gives everybody a bit of a buzz. You hear the older pros talking about them and appreciating what they bring to the side. And it's great for the academy, certainly. It's great for the club.
Personality-wise, I'm sure they're all different, but do some of them need their feet kept on the ground? Do some of them need sort of constant, confident boosts? Dealing with young players is different to the senior ones?
The 2 players that are in the team don't require too much attention, I can assure you. They're both really good characters and good personalities. Delighted to be in and around the team, to be in the team, playing. And likewise, I'm had them long enough really to determine what they will require. But I think as a young lad, when you get in the first team, you have your games, you make the most of them, and if you end up being, they can very quickly get knackered Saturday, Tuesday, if they're playing every week. If they end up out of the team, they'll be disappointed, but they've always got that glow on them that they've played, they've been in the team, and they know they'll get another chance. And that's probably when they're playing, that's not a problem. The toughest part is if they lose the position and then they don't get a game, and then they've got to stick with it and keep doing what they've been doing all along. But we never mentioned Wolfie, but that's a different one. The 2 lads, certainly Tristan and Flynn, they're fine. Yeah. And they won't be showered with riches immediately, which I think is the biggest problem. They're on contracts. If they play games, they'll earn. The contracts will go up, which is how the how they are structured here, and that's the way it should be. I think the biggest problem is when someone goes, oh, we've got these two kids, oh, well, we'll just protect them, we'll give them £5 a week each, and the next thing you see the AMG Merc part in the car park and the Range Rover with the big wheels on and the dice in the front of whatever it is, and they've gone then. Oh, well, you've got to bring them, come on back down here. That's not going to happen.
Yeah. You'll be delighted with the 2 wins.
There are other cars available, by the way, just in case.
Delighted with the 2 wins, but the performances as well, Mick, because you've worked on, you were very open about needing to play more entertaining football this season, and there's been plenty of evidence of that in the 2 games.
Listen, I've been as honest. No, I've been more honest than any manager that's ever sat here before, I would imagine, about how we played last year. And it wasn't pretty, but it was a means to an end. And fans do come to the game to be entertained. They don't want to come to the game to be entertained and get relegated, I might add. But they do come to watch good players play good football. And we didn't do that last year. And it was important that we got them back on side. I wanted them to enjoy coming back and watching us play. And I think over the last 2 games they have. Certainly they enjoyed it at Portman Road and whatever, 2,000, was it 2,000? I don't know, there seemed to be a lot of fans there. They enjoyed the game on Tuesday night.
You've always said there's no such thing as a bad away point going into games against Barnsley and Millwall. Does that still ring true for you?
Now? No, don't get beaten away from home. You know full well I won't be going there to sit back and try and take a draw. But if that's what we end up with, then that's what we end up with. And unbeaten away from home would suit me fine. Hey, I'd sooner go and beat one and lose one. Not bothered which either. I'll take 3 points out of 2 games rather than 2. Doing that bonkers because then you're unbeaten. I'll have 1 win and 1 defeat all day long away from home. If somebody gives me the choice, that might be difficult. 2 former clubs. Oh wow.